everyone, and welcome back to my channel True Crime and Trials, where I discuss true crime and trials. My name's Lindsay, and yep, it's Bob Durst, and the next witness is Paula Marcas. Now, she is the wife of the previous witness, Stephen Safia. So currently Paula is a semi-retired psychiatrist. Paula knew Kathy and they met on the first day at medical school as they were in the same class. And when asked about what Kathy was like, Paula starts to cry. When Paula has composed herself, she says that Kathy was very outgoing, a very nice person, very smart, and a happy person. And pretty quickly she knew Kathy was married to Bob, and Paula had met Bob a couple of times. Kathy never spoke to Paula about the state of her marriage to Bob. She did have a chance to see interactions between Bob and Kathy, and it was when she and her husband Stephen were walking down a street in New York City, and they met Kathy and Bob, and they chatted for a bit. She says Bob then interrupted the conversation, and Paula felt like he was cutting them off, so they didn't talk anymore. On to when you call in sick. If Paula was to call in sick, she may call another medical student who was on the same rotation as her, or higher up on that rotation. She does not know why anyone would call the dean to say they wouldn't be in. In her words, she said that she doesn't know why anyone would do such a thing. She would expect someone that said they had cramps and diarrhea to go get some over-the-counter medication for it and still go to work. She says Kathy would not have referred to the issues she was having if she had made the phone call as cramps and diarrhea. She would have worded it differently, seeing as she was close to becoming a doctor. Damn good point. When asked about whether suffering from domestic violence would affect your performance at medical school, Paula says she can't really answer that because everyone deals with things differently, but it would be an extra challenge for that person. Paula says it's absolutely ludicrous to say Kathy was a drugged out coke addict. She says that would be impossible for someone in medical school. She says she heard through the grapevine that Kathy was missing and says there was horror when they found out, and they all noticed Kathy's absence at graduation. Paula says the Kathy she knew wouldn't have voluntarily disappeared so close to graduating from medical school, and she's 100% certain about that. So let's get on with the cross-examination. And honestly, every time I see DeGuerin get up to examine a witness, I just die a little inside because I know what's coming. Because if he doesn't get the answer he wants, he's like a dog with a bone and he will not let go. And if he picks up on a witness remembering a tiny detail, he will zone in on that straight away and he will probe and probe and probe, certain that that witness can remember more, which is fair enough, but it gets very tedious and it will instantly piss a witness off because they will get very tired of it very quickly. So it goes straight for the meeting. When her and her husband saw Bob and Kathy on the New York street, and he asks her where exactly they were, and this goes on for so long. He's asking her where she lived, whether it was west side, east side, where they were going, trying to really pinpoint where they saw Kathy and Bob that day. She cannot remember. After what felt like an hour of him probing to try and get where she actually was, she constantly says she cannot remember, and eventually it does move on. So now onto the phone call with the dean, and she doesn't know what type of relationship Kathy had with any of the deans. So now they show the note from the assistant dean, where Jean Cook is offering her Kathy help. She doesn't understand where DeGuerin is thinking by this note. The assistant dean and Kathy had a personal relationship, at which point you you see from De Guerin, he's thinking, yeah, you got me on that one, because it doesn't insinuate any type of relationship. It's just the assistant dean of students reaching out to help. It doesn't mean they had any sort of relationship. And she says she didn't see her husband's prior testimony, and Paula really didn't know how well Kathy was doing in medical school, and that seems to be a running theme as well, that neither of them knew how well each of them were doing. So the redirect, she says it is common for domestic abuse victims to give excuses as to why they can't go somewhere, etc. Paula says it is likely for the victim to be ashamed and embarrassed by their situation. So there we go. That is a long testimony that I have managed to cut down into minutes, because most of it is just ridiculous. It's just going over the same questions and not getting any differentiation to the answer that they gave before. So that's why it's so hard to watch this sometimes, and I'm looking forward to when they've moved through these medical witnesses, because it's just the same continuation of questions. So like I say, I've got more witnesses to catch up on, so I'll be back with more videos as soon as I can. So until then, bye for now.